Prince's genius was never in question, yet the seeds of his self-destruction were sown long before he became a star.
I don't think he ever felt true love. I don't think he ever felt true acceptance. Prince spent his whole life unhappy. I think he spent his whole life alone.
The problems of his early childhood, the epilepsy, the powerful father and weak mother left Prince feeling vulnerable, unsure of what was right and what was wrong. At school, things were no better. Prince was the short black kid with the name everyone laughed at.
He had told me when he was very young, remember I met him when he was 16, what he wanted most in life was to become famous. Music wasn't his first love. His first love was really basketball.
Prince shot hoops hour after hour. Yet the one thing he really needed for basketball was beyond his reach.
He was on teams, and I think he really came into himself. But as he got older, he stopped growing. When he finally realized that basketball wasn't going to be a dream he was going to be able to realize because of how tall he was, I think he turned to music and poured all of his heart and soul into that.
Being short would not stop Prince from becoming a musician.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get up.
Prince chose a hard path. Everyone said a black artist could never succeed in Minneapolis. That's why his own father struggled to break through.
Minneapolis, when I started my recording studio, was a kind of a cow town. I mean, it was a very white country rock environment.
Prince set out to prove everyone else wrong, as he would repeatedly do throughout his life. After 3 years of mastering guitar, keyboards and drums, the groundwork paid off, as Prince later recalled on the Tavis Smiley show.
I taught myself how to play music, and I just stuck with it, and I did it all the time. And sooner or later, people in the neighborhood heard about me, and then they started to talk about me.
The word had spread throughout the black community that and there was this Englishman over there that loved recording R&B and black music.
Hi, Mr. Moon, right?
I was contacted by the mother of the band, who was the manager.
Nice to meet you.
And she contacted me and she said she wanted to do a demo tape.
I don't need your charity, Mr. Moon. I got my money. I can pay.
And so this lady that had brought this group into the studio that was producing them, you know, really had the support, I think, of the community, and everyone kind of helped them.
This boy here on the block, he plays everything, and I mean everything.
So I started listening to him, and I realized he had talent.
After that child, Mr. Moon, he don't say much, but he got a volcano of emotions under the surface.
And I realized he could play all the instruments. And I thought, this is the answer to my prayers. So after months and months and months of working with Prince, very, very close basis, producing this music, I had him named. We had his first big song packaged up, Soft and Wet. We had his identity created, and we had his demo tape built. And so now it was time to go to the next step.
It's real hard for my dad to show emotion. He never says, I love you. Whenever we try to hug or something, we bang our heads together like some Charlie Chaplin movie.
So I'm a hugger. I just love to hug people. I think it's a great way of expressing, you know, your love and openness. I tried it a couple times with Prince. Strange reaction. He was a person that probably needed and wanted and was craving a hug more than anyone on the planet. And he was so stiff and so shocked. I'm not sure that it had happened much to him before. It was really an alien experience, and I'm not sure that he really understood how to process it. I do believe that it is what he wanted and needed, perhaps more than anything.
By the mid-1980s, Prince had 3 Grammy Awards, 5 sold-out tours, 7 albums, and 8 top 10 hits. Yet it wasn't making him happy.
He says, it's very, very lonely. I know I'm getting fame and everybody loves my music. He says, but I'm so lonely. He says, you're the only person who's ever done anything without wanting something back. He says, everyone around me seems to want something. I don't know what their motivations are, but he says, I know they all want something for themselves. He says, I never dreamt that being famous would be so lonely.
Kiss.
Prince was flying in the face of his record company, thrilling his public with new hit songs, whatever the cost.
Prince's life was publicly an explosion of excitement. It was lights, it was dancing, it was music, it was rhythm, it was the soul coming out and dancing in full force. But inside, the man was quietly lost, I think quietly sad, and there was a real dichotomy between what the public saw and who was inside.
So looking down the road, is there an end point?
It's just so nice to know that there is someone and someplace else. And if we're wrong, then I'm wrong. And there is nothing. The big deal. But the whole life I just spent, I at least had some reason to spend it.
Prince spent his entire adult life making music, yet the music could not save him.
I'm not sure that having helped make Prince famous and help make Prince achieve his dreams was ultimately what he needed. And all I had done is introduce him to a nice girl, and he had had a couple of children and gone to work at the factory and grew up as an old man sitting on his rocking chair, never famous. I think perhaps maybe I would have been more proud of that.